Sorry. I think I'm going crazy. This is just, I mean, how much more? The thing is, it gets more insane every day, Anthony.
Well, that's how they win. If it's so insane, it's normal. It's so insane that your brain can't handle it that you just accept it. Just like that guy saying he'll drink a whole glass of it when he knows fairly well that fairly regularly people survive by trying to kill themselves every 30 minutes in India because Monsanto goes over there, gets them to sign contracts, the Indian farmers, says you'll make so much money, you'll have so many yields. The Indian farmers make no money. They're poor. They're in debt.
And then it's a smart way to rebel. It's like burning yourself alive. They drink it and it kills them.
Well, they have honor, so they go ahead and they take the same biopesticides they were given, or the Roundup, and they drink it. And
That's killing their family. Everybody gets sick in the village.
Yep. And I would change his quote to people eat this fairly regularly and don't die. Because we're eating it every day.
Now, the honeybees die when they get it. But it's okay. Who needs them? They're racist. I mean, you know.
No, they're racist. And we're bad, too, because we eat it and ultimately get cancer, but it's hard to prove a long-term thing like that.
But they just had a big study out of Europe where they did the town that uses it, but they had towns that didn't, and like cancer was like triple.
Oh, yeah. Well, we know it's causing cancer, the World Health Organization.
All right, we're going to go to break and come back and go to your phone calls. Just ride shotgun, Anthony. You got a bunch of news with us. Some stations don't carry the fourth hour. Some do. We love you all. Infowars.com/show. Please support our local AM and FMs. Become sponsors. Spread the word about them. Don't take this broadcast for granted. We're being attacked by the globalists because we're dead on. We are over the enemy. We are dropping info bombs. We are devastating, thanks to God's help. All right, stay with us, ladies and gentlemen. Nightly News tonight, 7 o'clock Central. Please tune in. PrisonPlanet.tv. Today, Luke in Arizona. Luke, I am your father. Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father. This is CNN. Actually, it's not. It's InfoWars. This is InfoWars. Go ahead, Luke. You're on the air.
Thank you, sir. I had a theory about Jade Helm that I just wanted to share, and it's one of these things that kind of gives an explanation and sort of gives an overarching idea of what's going on and maybe just a solution also. I think a lot of Jade Helm, especially in the stuff that's ramping up right now in America, is because, and I know this is going to sound a little weird, but it's because of, for instance, things like the SDR and the IMF. We've always known that they want this kind of one world currency, and that they were kind of batting it back and forth as to how much it was going to be backed up by gold. But in order to back something up by gold, you also have to have not only the gold, but you have to be in control of the gold supply. So China basically was in control of Africa. That's pretty much the largest gold supplier there was. They obviously had infiltrated the entire area. And then the next thing we know, AFRICOM wants to come in and take over.
Well, there's no doubt that's what that's all about. But look, dictators love to hyperinflate currencies, buy everything up when it still has value, then flee the country after it collapses, and watch the country basically sink into despotism and total tyranny from afar. The globalists are hyperinflating worldwide, and then out of that implosion, they will bring in the new SDR global government. That's all been announced. Barry Goldwater exposed that in the 70s. I mean, so we're now, though, maneuvered to the edge of the abyss. And they're going to hit us with forced inoculations, forced GMO, open borders, global treaties ordering we let third world populations in. That's being announced. I mean, it's on. But, I mean, you're right. It's all about any totalitarian, despotic oligarchy wants paramilitary on the streets. I mean, it's just, it goes like a horse and carriage together, or like a Hitler mustache on Hitler. Or an Easter bunny with pink eggs. I mean, it just, it just goes together. I'm going to throw an Easter bunny into it. I mean, that's how it is. So just drink some glyphosate. Obama loves you. Good points, Luke. Anthony, anything to say to what he just said?
Well, people survive fairly regularly from drinking glyphosate. I think empires survive fairly regularly from a military takeover, as in they don't. And I think ultimately they're counting on less than 5% of the public to actually do something about it with all of the things they do, not just Jade Helm, but forcing all these things on us on a daily basis and the training exercises, everything that... I
remember, and my dad was a smart guy, he's here, but I mean, he still believed in America and the system had been taken over. I remember being a kid with him spraying weed killer when Roundup had come out in the early 80s. He'd always told me how pesticide was dangerous, and he thought it hurt his dad. Cooper Tox was really just like a cyanide thing you put on the back of cows. It took care of the flies, though.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, Dad, he goes, no, they say you can even get this on your skin. You can even drink this. I remember my dad repeating their propaganda.
Oh, they say a lot of things, too. Remember DDT? That was totally safe. Or RBGH, the recombinant bovine growth hormone, which was made from clone genetically modified
Which hits women's genetics more. That's why you'll have like a 5'5" woman and a 5'9" dad. They got like a 6'3" daughters.
Yeah, and the pesticides hit men. That's what causes aggressive prostate cancer. So it's so insane, as you were saying earlier, that people can't handle it in their brains. And I was talking to someone the other day, and they told me, they said, look, I don't think that's happening. I said, why don't you think that's happening? Why don't you think that these things are actually dangerous to us? They said, because no one has the capacity to do that. They can't think in those ways. No one is sitting up there thinking about all the ways to hurt us.
But really, I mean, in the 50s, the Joker was always obsessed with binary weapons where he'd sell cosmetics, and when you put the 2 on, that's what killed you. But they could never find out what was killing him because they would test them individually. So comic book writers knew about this. Stan Lee, I guess, knew about this, but not them.
So many icons know about this and put in all of their works. Just like the latest Captain America. That was basically one of your episodes, one of your Alex Jones show transcripts put into a movie.
Talking about Winter Soldier?
Yep.
Well, we now know from Hollywood, actually, that the show did influence it. That was an excellent film. The New Avengers is unwatchable. I mean, my God, it's the worst movie ever made. I briefly want to talk about Prostagard. This is undoubtedly the best prostate formula out there. I don't know why people didn't soup theirs up or add everything into it that's known to help. And it just does so much amazing things. My doctor, again, over a year ago when I turned 41, or 40 now, I'm over 41, said you really ought to be on one of these natural prostate things that are out there. And I just said to Anthony, I said, why don't we develop with our researchers and doctors and people something that's even better? Because what I was paying was over $40 with tax for something that's not even as good. InfoWarsLife.com. In fact, let's plug this right now. With all the stuff bombarding us, there are natural compounds, we don't really know why, that are known to counteract a lot of this. And if you're not on Nason iodine that they don't want you to have, if you're not on the different quality prostate guards that are out there, ours is the best. If you're not getting purified water, if you're not doing some of the things to mitigate, well, okay, then I guess you just want to die. InfoWarsLife.com. It's very popular. We got 5,000 bottles of this produced. And at current sales rates, it'll be gone by next week. But we're going to be able to produce this pretty quickly. We want to be able to produce enough of everything to always have it. But we never know what's going to be a hit. What isn't going to be a hit? But we try to bring you things that we're really proud of and that will face scrutiny by enemy operations that test our stuff, government operations and others, going over us with a fine-tooth comb. I give you my word, this is the best deal you're going to find anywhere on a prostate guard. That's why it's called Prostate Guard, InfoWarsLife.com. Briefly, Anthony, tell folks about this.
I'll tell you why I'm really happy about it. Because we looked at, hey, the American Indians were using some of these ingredients like lycopene-based derivatives or saw palmetto, right? So they were using this countless centuries ago to the point where they were saying they already had issues with the reproductive health, right?
Or being racist.
And they were taking this, I'm being racist. Now, look what we're up against. Deadly pesticides linked to increased prostate cancer risk. Researchers have begun examining the link between pesticide exposure and the development of prostate cancer, with scientists documenting increased prevalence of prostate cancer among older men exposed to certain pesticides. Now, what's funny here...
You mean pesticides might hurt you? That sounds like a conspiracy theory.
And what's funny, and we have this over and over again, and then what's funny, though, is the research about junk food causing aggressive prostate cancer, like soda. That has to do with the pesticide content. Everyone is getting exposed to pesticides. If you go outside, you're getting exposed to pesticides.
Why does soda pop, to use a Yank term, why does it have so much pesticide in it?
Well, because whatever is as cheap as possible to make, these multinational conglomerates will do. So if it saves 5 cents to use the crappiest junk made from China and grown from China.
Well, the high fructose corn syrup. Yeah, it's the corn takes poison out of the soil.
Yeah, and not to mention it's genetically modified and filled with mercury from the
They're spraying it with glyphosate.
Yeah, they spray it, they douse it with glyphosate, just douse it with Roundup over and over and over again, so that nothing happens to the crop. So it's cheaper. It's cheaper to produce when you douse it with all this garbage, and then you're going to mill it up and you're going to put it in the soda. And then the actual, what's funny is they have preservatives which are basically pesticides themselves, because they also need to preserve the soda content in the huge batch systems, and they also don't want to get sued because they don't want to have any type of growth in there. They don't want to have any type of foreign...
That's right. It's harder to be organic. It's harder to have quality. But, I mean, even leading competitors in nutraceuticals that have pretty clean stuff, but it'll have like one ingredient at a level we know is costing them $2 a bottle. And then we just go, well, we'll just put $9 of stuff in there and sell it for $19 and change the whole industry. I just don't get, like, why don't people just, we're like light years better than almost everybody is what I'm saying. We are just so good at InfoWarsLife.com. It's sickening.
And just think about when we talked to one of those executives that came on the show, actually, Breckler, our good friend there. He came in and told us about manufacturers that were sweeping herbs off the ground from the conveyor belts and dumping them back on to put into the supplement capsules. We don't do anything like that. And secondarily, he was telling us about these companies, and I already know about this. We've talked about this time and time again, some that you would know if I said, which I'm not going to. They cost 13 cents sometimes a bottle for the actual content. The bottle and stuff costs a little bit more, but 13
I know, and I thought because that's a top brand, I was like, I want to do what they've done. People say they're the best. And we went and researched. We had it tested. And we're like, oh, my gosh.
Yeah. We're not touching that. I mean, our margins...
By the way, we're not just saying this. Because even crap. Herbs are so powerful that even cruddy brands are better than nothing. I mean, no one would put out pure iodine like us. And just no one still does. They just don't care because it's expensive.
Yeah, and that's also...
I mean, well, why? Why not put out the best? Just as a free market capitalist, if I had a car, I'd want to have it at the most, like Henry Ford, the most affordable price that makes me a good profit, that destroys my competition, that's quality, because I want to dominate the market. But nowadays, it's all about, just from a sinister view.
Yeah.
Also, just want to have high quality, want to be a good guy and survive attacks. But it just makes sense to do the right thing, Anthony.
It does, and then that's why these stores that contact us, the brick-and-mortar stores, hey, we want to carry your stuff. Okay, great. Here's what we get it for. Here's what you can sell it for. They're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You need to jack your prices up by about 3 to 4 times, and then we can do that. They think that we're not selling it high enough.
Yeah, we're like this $19.95 bottle is $9 a bottle. This $30-something bottle is $16 a bottle. This $130 bottle is like $60 a bottle. And they're like, well, you need a 3 or 4 time markup.
Yeah.
And then we're like, listen, we'll split the profit with you, put it in your store. We'll make $5. You'll make no.
They told us
no. You need to go get stuff that's huh?
They told us we need to sell Prostagard for at least $40. That's what I was told from one of the leading labs working on this.
I know, $19.95.
Yep. And all it's true.
But we still make a big profit to fund the operation.
Yeah.
And then everybody's going to come to us. They just don't get it, man. I tell you, sometimes I don't think I'm that smart, but compared to the general public and even corporate people, Breckler's super smart. But a lot of these other people, they're not smart, man.
Well, they think that if they
think screwing someone gets them ahead.
Yep. And then what happens is people understand that, and they're not going to buy.
People want to know why all the Hollywood folks and all the generals and all these famous people love me, because they've been watching me for 20 years. They know I'm for real. I don't screw people over. I don't release info on people. I treat people like I want to be treated. Golden rule, baby. I mean, I don't know why folks don't get that.
You know, I think it all comes down to motivation, because obviously we want to have the financial support to do what we're doing and continue to make a difference in all these things, but at the same time, we want to actually give quality products, because we understand, even if we were bad, right, we understand, hey, maybe we should make something that's not junk, right? But these companies, they make junk, and then they jack up the prices, and they sell you garbage, and they expect you to keep coming back, when that's just not going to happen.
Well, it's the Walmart view. Like, I mean, I don't know how many times I did this until I won't do it. My kids would want a toy I didn't really go to Walmart, but say Target or even some smaller store. It would break before you got out of the box. I mean, you get out of the box, it's broken, or it breaks in an hour. You spend $45 on some robot, and it breaks in an hour, and, it's like, used to, America was known for quality, or Japan still is. They know what they're doing, like a Toyota car or a Honda.
No, it's true. That's why German-engineered cars are usually the best, too. It's sad to think that these days, when you're buying a vehicle, you think, well, as long as I don't get something that's American-made, unless it's the higher-end one, then I'm pretty much...
But America got better. The statistics are better.
Yeah. It has actually increased. And then that's also, I think, why we're seeing more quality stores. Just McDonald's, for example, losing all the money. It's because competitors to Whole Foods are rising up. And that's why Whole Foods recently was on the news, had to lower their prices, because competitors in the organic U.S. market are coming in. And that's the same for furniture and cars and toys and everything.
Competition is the answer.
It is. And as we see the bureaucracy decrease, we'll see the capitalistic competition increase, if that ever happens.
I totally
$2 trillion in bureaucracy laws and regulations last year.
Well, you can find the whole family of InfoWarsLife.com products at InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139. If you're above 40 and you're not taking Prostagard, you're insane. And I mean, if you're not filtering your water, you're insane. with a filter that cuts out glyphosate. I mean, glyphosate's worse than fluoride because it's hit every